Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It was nice having a quick little hello with some of my followers on here before I got going this morning. How are we? I look a bit pale today. I don't know why. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I love my hot lemon. So got a big session for you guys this morning. We're going to talk about some things that, oh, by the way, just before I go on any further, I'm thinking every Sunday what I'll do is I'll chat to people about 15 minutes beforehand. How do you feel about that? Or maybe half an hour beforehand. How would you feel about that? Would you like that? You can ask some questions and stuff. So it will pay to be one of the first people on. How do you feel about that? If you like the sound of that, let me know. And we can get that sorted. I think that would be quite nice, actually. I think that would be quite cool. I've got all these emojis showing up on my screen, and I don't know what's going on here. I can't see your comments. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness, there's lots of you on. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Lots of love to you. Yes. So, okay, I'm going to do that. So from next Sunday, I'm going to be in Manchester. Am I going to be doing this next Sunday? Yes, I feel I'm going to be doing this next Sunday, but I will be in Manchester. So what I'll do is I'll be able to chat to the people that are online early. So it pays to be early. If you've got a question that you've got for me, and this will only be on YouTube, okay? It will only be on YouTube. So if you know anyone who loves my message or loves the weirdness that goes on, and honestly, I've just had one of the most profound downloads of my life, literally a short time ago. And I'm not going to be sharing about that just yet because I need to get my head around it. I'm a bit like, whoa, where did that come from? However, what I will look to do every single week on the Sunday, 15 to 30 minutes before, I'll pop on, we'll have a chat. I haven't been using YouTube properly, so I'm going to use YouTube properly, and I'm going to let you guys know. So I will book in next Sunday's session in readiness, so that then we can have a chat beforehand, so that you guys get the notification 15 to 30 minutes before. And honestly, if you want to come on and ask me questions or anything like that, or literally just be like, Lucy, how are you, my love? Like, how are you? I'm down for all of those conversations. So that's what we'll do from next week. And to those of you that were on early, I know Veronica, Gemma, Jennifer, a few of you were on early. It was nice to have a little quick chat with you guys this morning. So today is going to be slightly different because I've just channeled something. I've channeled something for you all. And I would really, really love lots of thumbs up on this so that we can, I'm being shadow banned everywhere at the moment. So if you press the thumb up button, rather than the emoji on the video, the thumbs up button, what will basically happen is it will start to freak the algorithms. And the other thing that I can ask you, if you don't mind, to continually pop comments on as I'm speaking. Now, the other thing that I would like to say before we go any further is please do not mention any of the swear words, okay? Now, obviously, I don't mean swear words. If you want to drop an F-bomb or whatever, that's completely your prerogative. There are no children. I have put that this is not for children, so you can do that. But what I would really, really appreciate from you is obviously do not drop the V-bomb in the live chat. Please do not drop the CV bomb in the live chat. Please do not drop the G-bomb in the chat, or any specific names of people that, you know, we're trying to hide from at the moment, and, you know, just all of that stuff, because we are on YouTube today and YouTube is heavily censoring all of their people. And what I've actually, basically no naughty words. I'm going to pop you on the naughty step like myself, you know, which is such an awful time, isn't it, when you can drop the F-bomb but you're not allowed to talk about what's going on in real life. Honestly, we're living in an asylum. And as I step through today, I know that I'm going to be preaching to the converted here. However, my wish for you today is to please drop into your heart space and feel into and take from this whatever feels right. And then we will talk about how we can take that message forwards. Just as a couple of heads up, I've got a session with Charlie on New Moon, which is Thursday, the 11th of February. No surprise, it's happening on New Moon. I've also done a New Moon ritual, which I will be posting either later today or I will be posting tomorrow on this channel, okay? Thanks, Mark. I'm actually not at home. That's the problem, and I don't have my microphone with me because I literally don't have all of my sound equipment with me. But I have been meaning to talk about that for a little while, Mark. So thank you. I've been without internet for the last 2 months, so I'm having to do the best that I can with what I've got. For me to move all of my recording equipment and everything would literally take a van, and unfortunately, I don't. I'm basically here for a few days and then I go home. I record all of my content, I get it uploaded, and then I get it to release it out. So my apologies for any inconsistencies or any noise or any feedback or any of that. I really do apologise. Like I say, I'm doing what I can right at this precise moment. And fingers crossed this week things will be back to normal and I can stay at my own home. Like, imagine that, being able to stay at your own house. So that's just a little bit of an update. My speakers aren't up full. They're far from full on my laptop, hun. Because I know that gives it feedback as well. But yeah, my speaker's actually only on 50%. So I guess, guys, drop off and drop back on if you need to, or if this sound is too offensive for you, then maybe give it a watch back when you come back on. But these challenges at the moment, what's basically happening is what's going on around the world. Like, that's happening to me too. I'm having blocks right now. They are trying to take my voice right now. I didn't mean to grab my own head then, but they are attempting to take my voice right now. Do you know what? We have to keep going no matter what. And this is very much in alignment with what we're going to be talking about today. So smash the heart button or smash the thumbs up button for me or whatever. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Who wants to know? Like, everybody's kind of up to speed with the US, right? Yes, we're getting frustrated. Yes, we're getting a little bit impatient. Let me know if you're one of these people that are getting impatient or anything like that. And you're just like, well, actually, what's going on with the UK? Like, what is happening with the UK? And oh, beautiful. Oh, thank you. That's a really good tip. Thank you very much. I will do that. Thank you. I'm going to write that down. Thank you so much. I don't know who you are, F.E. Maori, but I love it. And I'm thinking that you are from New Zealand way or something like that. Love it. Anyway, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. So that will change things, will it? Okay, awesome. Really, really appreciate it. I'm grateful to all of you for your feedback. Genuinely, I am. And any more feedback, please either drop me a message or, you can contact me. New Zealand. I love New Zealand. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Like I say, if you have any feedback and you can't get hold of me on YouTube because it's a bit challenging to message somebody on YouTube, just drop me a message on Instagram. Okay. And if you've got any feedback like that, but yeah, I'm always welcome to it. Thank you so much. And I love the fact that we've got people all over the world on. Okie dokie. So people are asking the question, Lucy, what's going on in the UK? And it's actually a really, really fundamental question right now. And I actually want to, interestingly that you've popped up in New Zealand, I actually want to bring Australia and New Zealand into this as well. Because if you have noticed recently, there is a lot going on in America, and it's all eyes on America at the moment. Why are all eyes on America? Because of the election that took place, because of, there's a lot of uncertainty over there at the moment. However, what is really interesting is the UK are being held back. The UK are being held back. And I'm going to explain to you today what I channeled yesterday morning. Now, I initially got some feedback a few days ago. I got a message saying, the UK aren't getting it. That was the message that I got. And I was like, oh, come on, guys. We're doing the best we can right now. And I want to tell you, I am taking the utmost responsibility for this. I am going to be upping my game significantly to be reaching out to people that maybe I haven't wanted to reach out to or things like that. So I'm absolutely going to be taking responsibility for this as well. However, what I channeled yesterday morning on Saturday, and this goes for the United Kingdom. This is not just England, so no finger pointing of my Irish and my Welsh and my Scottish, please. This is the United Kingdom as its entirety. I am going to suggest that there's part of Europe involved in this. I'm definitely going to suggest that New Zealand and Australia are in this as well. However, basically we're in this together, guys. And we really do need to be working together right now. So what my question was, when they started channeling me the information, basically I was told the British are not waking up. They're not awakening at the rate we need them to awaken. And I'm holding rose quartz today, and I've got labradorite here as well. So you may see me with things in my hand. It's only crystals. So what they basically said, and I'm looking down because I've got my notepad here, guys, okay, just to remember, just to trigger my mind. So I basically asked the question when they said to me, the British are not awakening at the rate that we need them to. My reason was, and you've hit the nail on the head, MDK. I basically asked the question, what is the reason? And this is the reasons they gave me. Name calling, bitching, putting people down, ego. Okay, so they are the reasons. Name calling, bitching, putting people down, and ego, which all of those things fit into ego from my perspective, but you know, they were the 4 things that they gave me, so they're the 4 things that I'm giving to you. What they basically said to me is, Lucy, people are not recognizing their triggers right now. People are saying, so I'm going to give you an example. So say there's somebody on social media, say me, for example, I'm on Instagram, and Kirstine, I'm going to pick you because I know you, and I know, like, you know, I know that this isn't you. So Kirstine in the gorgeous Scotland reads one of my posts and goes, she knows nothing. She's this, she's that, blah, 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 blah. And it's all about me. Okay. So she's blaming me. It's all a projection of her feels, rather than her saying, this has triggered me. And this is where we need to go. Okay. We need to be empowering, enabling, for want of a better word. I love you too, Kirsty. We need to be enabling people to be recognizing their trigger. None of this finger pointing, none of this bitching or backstabbing. We need to be absolutely dropping into our divine heart space, no matter what people are saying. No matter how much stuff is being thrown. Give me a comment on here if you have at any point been told by someone, told you it wasn't going to happen the way you said, told you so, told you were crazy. Now, I know that there's a lot of that taking place in Australia right now. I've got some really incredible people that I work with in Australia, and over there right now, they're getting the finger pointing taking place. I know I've got the beautiful Veronica on in Norway, and she says to me, like, people aren't getting it over here. So we have so many people all around the world, and I do believe this is happening in America as well. The thing is, everybody, is as we are stepping through this process right now, what is happening is, because we're feeling like we need to defend ourselves, we are changing our truth. We're actually changing the trajectory of the human race. We are changing humanity. And what we are essentially doing is that we are holding humanity back. So it's about enabling and allowing people to understand, because we don't understand anything. No, we understand it. Okay? You are far too great to be stood underneath anything. Okay? Us British have such a stiff upper lip. Oh, can't possibly be. Can't possibly be. Oh, no. Cognitive dissonance all the way, my darling. Oh, no, can't possibly be. Like, why would the government do anything to harm us? You know, what is happening? And, you know, what's the problem here? Like, we just need to get back to normal and go about our business. That is the way that the British are. And I'm not going to be disrespectful of anyone else, because I am British and I can speak from my heart and speak from my divine love space about the British. I'm not going to do that with any other nationality, because it's just not my place to do that. However, it is as the light worker, starseed community, it's our responsibility to say, Kirstine, my babe, and this is the God's honest truth, right? I'll be honest with you. When people project their stuff on me, I just tend to block them, because it's just too much. Like the amount of comments and messages and stuff I get on a day-to-day basis, for me to go to everybody and kind of crack them open and help them. To be honest, I just block people. However, what I would really like everybody to start doing, myself included, I put myself on the naughty step, is almost saying to the person, Kirstine, what is it that has triggered you in this scenario here? What part of my message, or maybe you don't even need to say that, just message them back and say, thank you so much for your perspective. I love you. So if you know them close enough, so I think somebody said that their partner has been like, finger pointing, saying, oh, I told you it wouldn't happen. I told you it wouldn't happen as you expected. If that was my partner, I would just be saying, it's a very interesting perspective that you have there. It's a very interesting perspective. Now, the people that are being told they're those spiracy people, or it's not the truth, or it's a lie, or whatever. It's interesting. All of those people are held together by a couple of commonalities. One is they believe the children are everything to do with this. They believe the children is everything to do with it. Okay. I don't see what is bad or negative or anything like that when children are involved. The children are the future of the world. The children are our future of humanity. If we as a collective are pulling together on behalf of the children, surely that's not a bad thing. Just my perspective, my take on it all. Secondly, every single person that is in this community and that wishes for humanity to ascend, we are basically coming together to make things better. We basically believe in the light over the dark. We basically believe that every single person on this planet deserves happiness, laughter, truth, love, joy, abundance. I feel that this is something that we just need to cement into ourselves today. I appreciate it is challenging when your partner is telling you all of these things, when your mum is telling you that you're crazy and people are saying that you need to be sectioned. Like a few people have said to me over the last few weeks, oh, my parents think I need to be sectioned, or my partner thinks I need to be committed. So please do look at the language people are giving you. It's actually showing their perspective. So please just feel into that and be very careful with the way that you respond, because most people respond with a knee-jerk reaction. They just say, screw you, and bat it back to that person. However, imagine if we could just sit with it and be like, thank you for your perspective. Thank you so much for your perspective on this situation. I have been through this process and I truly believe in what I'm saying. I'm honoring my truth. But it's down to you, to the way that you respond. There's a few questions that we need to, in fact, there's one more point I want to raise before I start asking you the questions. Many of you right now are still attached to the income of Red Camp being in charge in America. Many people are attached to the outcome of red versus blue in the UK, Labour versus Conservative, okay? I really would empower you, and I'm not really a fan of that word, but you get what I mean. I would really like to show you having an expectation on that outcome is never going to create what we need for humanity. Essentially, we're two different sides of the same coin. They want one thing, we want another thing. The only thing that we can be doing now to help humanity ascend is by literally living in a space of, this is the future that I wish. Now, what that may look like is, I've chosen a timeline where the sun is coming back out. I've chosen a timeline where there is truth. I've chosen a timeline where, politics isn't politics anymore. I've chosen a timeline where every person is abundant. So it's not about Labour and Conservative as we're focusing on the UK. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about let's get rid of all of that. Let's get rid of all of the division and the diversity, because remember, that's all they've got over us. For those of you that haven't seen my post on Instagram this morning, go and take a look. We are all branches on the tree of humanity. All of us. At what point do you ever see any twigs, any branches on a tree fighting with each other? No, they don't do it. They don't do it. This is a huge catalyst for America. What Veronica has just put, that's a huge catalyst for why America is waking up, just as an FYI. So think about it like this. If that's what it's taken for America, what do you think it's going to take here in the UK? And I was shown like a mass program around the V. A mass program around the V. I was shown mass amounts of issues with the V. Okay, I'm not going to use the other word that we've been using, because they're starting to track that word as well. So the V, okay, that thing. Okay, that's the V. So I feel here in the UK, that is going to be our awakening. The more issues that we have, the more famous people that come out and say, oh my goodness, this issue's happened, the more doctors. Because if you go into any of the groups, I believe there's a page on Instagram and there's a group on Facebook. If you go into any of those, you will be able to see there's tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of people that have had issues since having the V. Now, I've been tapping into it because I'll be honest with you guys, all the way along, I've not seen the V ever as an issue. Like, genuinely on my timeline, it doesn't exist. However, what we need to recognize right now is that there is so much attachment to the V. There is so much attachment, and I'm seeing a lot of division by influencers a lot at the moment. Be very careful who you're following. A lot of influencers right now are butting heads around politics and bringing other things in. Okay, like, you need to be very aware of who you are following right now and where you are putting your energy, because every energy that you give to anything is basically creating the collective consciousness for humanity. Let's be extremely mindful of that. Oh, I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing, Anthony. So front page of The Sun today, Katie Price's son, Harvey, has, yes, had issues. Right, okay. So what we're being shown here is how many people, like my older sister used to love Katie Price. Each to their own, like I say. My older sister will take notice of that. She wouldn't take notice of me. There are a lot of people that are still in that mindset that they need to like change everything about their body to be successful. So now that lady's soul, Katie Price's soul, has gone, okay, I'm going to step up and I am going to allow people to awaken off of the pain in my family. And this is why we need to be extremely aware of what is taking place on the planet and remove the expectation, remove the attachment to the result that we are after. Okay, we must remember this. It is not about the result. It's not about Bojo, or I don't even know who's in the Labour Party. That's how little I have any interest in it. Please do remember, this is the only thing this is about is humanity. So, some questions for each and every one of you. Remember, holding on to the attachment of the outcome is holding us back. As a collective, it's holding us back. So encourage people to, drop the outcome where possible. And that comes from asking really great questions. So, are you personally recognizing your triggers? Are you personally recognizing your triggers? And you might want to say on here, because if you are personally recognizing your triggers, you will be able to help other people recognize their triggers too. Okay? People are good. It doesn't matter if you're only just starting. It doesn't matter. That's really good. Remember, whenever you get that little flip of the stomach, whenever you get that little knot, whenever you get that moment that you just want to knee jerk and go back, like shoot a comment back, or maybe you'll catch yourself doing that, that is called a trigger. The moment that you think, I can't do this, it's a trigger. The moment your heart jumps a beat, it's a trigger. The moment your stomach flips, it's a trigger. The moment you get angry, it's a trigger. The moment you get upset, it's a trigger. Like literally, it is a trigger. And what comes after the trigger, any of you that have followed me for a while, you will know, it's the gold. It is the gold of the healing journey. So recognize your trauma, first and foremost. Secondly, what we must do, please do trust your gut feeling, absolutely. What we must then do is be brave enough to heal. We must be brave enough to say, okay, I'm not sure why this has raised a reaction inside of me, and think about it. You know, if you've seen somebody sharing their power, like, oh, I'm so happy that the V has become available. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy that this is amazing. Oh my God, I've just got a massive download about my story this morning. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to share this with you at some point. Like, I can't do it now. It's going to be too emotional. I now know why I'm so triggered by the V. Put it that way. I now know verbatim why I am so triggered by the V, because I'm pulling my past life where they were doing a cull on humanity. And we are literally living again the same existence. Guys, I promise I will share this at some point. I just don't feel I'll be able to get through it this morning. So I promise I will do this maybe next Sunday. If not, I'll do an interim live this week if you guys are up for that. Whew, that was really emotional then. Okay, so recognizing your trauma and being brave enough to say, I am going to do this. I am going to do this. I am going to go back there. I am going to step into the pain. I am going to release it. I am going to give love to this situation, even though last time, you know, it was really painful, or my dad left me, or my mum left me, or my partner left me, or it doesn't matter what the scenario is, it will always go back to a significant amount of trauma where most of you have probably forgotten about it. Now, being brave enough to heal, I want to be honest with you. Like, I know some of my members from my Self-Love Club membership are on here right now. You guys are so powerful because you've gone, right, I'm healing. I'm choosing to heal. You are assisting humanity purely by making that decision. And I said this to you at the beginning of the program. You are assisting humanity purely by saying, hey, I deserve to be healed. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being so beautifully supportive, everybody. I really am grateful to you. The clarity is there. I just feel right now I might just cry and blub at you for the next, I don't know, week or something. So I will do it, and I will make sure that I put a little note out, because it's pretty overwhelming actually what I was showing this morning. Please recognize everybody, yourself included, myself included, we're projecting our trauma on others at the moment. Okay, now it's very rare. It's very, very rare. My members will tell you this, like everybody that works with me will tell you this. I have probably been triggered, like had a reaction probably about once in the last couple of years. And I own it when I do, because I'm like, okay, this has come to me because I have to do something about it. It's very rare. Please don't try me, but it's very rare that I have a reaction. Think about it. If you were not seen as a child, if you were not heard as a child, and maybe now you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, there's jealousy, there's envy. What happens with any of those emotions? What happens when we are in a perceived space of lack? We project it forwards. So, first and foremost, what we need to be doing is recognizing our trauma. Now, when you recognize your trauma, you're giving everyone else around you permission to recognize theirs. Okay? I personally wouldn't, even me as a coach, I coach thousands of people around the world. Okay? even me as a coach, and some of my members might speak up now, I don't say, you know, this is what you're doing, this is a projection. I say, wow, okay, cool, like, how did that make you feel? What do you think the lesson is from this? I don't tell them the answers, because that makes it easy. Recognize your trauma and every reaction that you have. Every time that your story kicks in, literally every time, you will get a trigger. It might only be a little trigger. It might just be a tiny little flip, and then you'll be like, oh no, I've put it to one side. Now, a lot of people say to me consistently, but I've dealt with it. But I've dealt with my perceived trauma. I've dealt with it. It happened a long time ago. Like, I've moved on from that. I've forgotten about it. You may have chosen to forget about it, but your soul hasn't. Your soul is essentially being corrupted because you are believing that you have been healed, but the work hasn't been done. Hence why, if you've got any dis-ease in your body anywhere, you have not done your healing work. Literally, it is the universe communicating with you. It is your soul communicating with you around your trauma. If you have reactions, if you get jealous, if you are controlling, if your mind is working at 1,000,000 miles an hour, if you put somebody down, even if you go, oh my God, look at the pair of shoes that person's wearing, I'd never wear those. That's called trauma. It is called trauma. And until you recognize the trauma and you actually do the work on it, you're going to keep going back and you're going to keep reliving it. Remember, we are on a cycle. We're on a loop. We're on a loop. We're on a loop until we say, hey, hang on a minute. Enough is enough. We're getting off of this loop. It's a conscious choice that you need to make to say, right, enough is enough. And this, remember, this is what is holding us back from humanity ascending. If we can share, if we can empower our loved ones to make a conscious decision when they have that flip of the stomach, or when they have that moment, to sit with it and say, where's that come from? What did I not hear? Or who didn't hear me? Like, literally, it's as simple as that. Who didn't hear me? Who didn't see me? You know, jealousy tends to come from when you weren't seen as a child, or you perceive that you weren't seen as a child, and you see somebody and you're like, well, they're more beautiful, or they've got more this, and you're just like, she's a right bitch, isn't she? Funny how I can get away with dropping that word, isn't it? What we need to be doing is acknowledging it. If you ever look at someone and go, oh, she's not a very nice person, whoa, where did that come from? Why am I being triggered by this person? What is the lesson that I need to take from this? Acknowledge it. It's your healing. All of my members will tell you, I make them walk around with a journal in their pocket. Literally, I make them walk around with a journal in their pocket. Literally, I'm like, have you journaled it? Have you gone deep on it? I journal everything. And at the moment I'm journaling all my synchronicities as well, which is just so interesting, because that's going to be a book. I channeled that it's going to be a book on its own, so really quite fascinating. So let's think about it, right? So let's go back to the example. You've seen a post on social media. Let's talk about the V. Somebody on social media has gone, oh my goodness, Yes, I will do, darling. Thank you. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you. I've already got some people. I'm going to message them and I'm going to ask them to be my moderators. So I appreciate it, babe. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's so great that you're here, because I would never have done that. So thank you so much. You're amazing. Yes, what I was saying is, let's go back to the scenario of the V. Okay, so let's say there's somebody on social media that is going, oh my goodness, I'm so happy, I'm delighted, on Monday morning at 11 a.m. I am going for my V and I'm so excited about it, and this is the answer. We're going to be getting back to normal. Now, I think most of my followers hit the thumbs up or hit a heart or hit yes or whatever if you would be the person that would be like, have you done your research? And although it's coming from a beautiful space of love, Please do some research before you go down that path. Really what we're doing is we're projecting our stuff forwards. This is a real challenge. Okay, this is a real challenge for all of us, because I know you guys are the woke community, for want of better words. I don't like that word. But, you guys are the ones that are awake. However, when we are projecting forwards, it's our trauma. So, for example, if you have trauma of not being heard as a child and you see a post on social media, and I was just pointing like I was a school teacher, you see a post on social media and basically you're like, you're basically projecting that you were never heard, so now you want to be heard. Okay, and I agree, I totally agree, we need to do our best to educate people. However, if you would really, good Kirstine, it means that you're acknowledging, it really does mean that you are acknowledging that it's your stuff that you are about to project forwards. So my recommendation, if you are the person that wants to help people without projecting your own stuff, and I know this is a bit of a contradiction here, what I personally do is I pop it in my stories. I basically share my perspective. Literally, I share my perspective. This is my truth. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. This is my truth, and I pop that through my stories. So you will notice I often post things about the bee, or nearly said the naughty word, and a few other bits and pieces. So that's a great way to do it. Please do make sure that you have an awareness that posting back and commenting and putting someone down, are you crazy? Like, I'm seeing people constantly. I saw a real influencer of the current scenario that we're in right now putting somebody else down the other day. Oh, she's this, she's that, she's toxic, I'm sorry, mate, you are projecting all of your own stuff forwards. None of us need to be putting anybody down right now. None of us. Anybody who is truly conscious. Carly, please can you remove that comment, babe? Because as I said, I cannot have those words on my, please can you, I'm removing it. Please do not pop that word on my comments, guys. Please, can I ask you, please, just know that it is your projecting, okay? You are having a reaction because you're not being heard, you're not being seen, it's not your truth. I get it, I get it. Please, no, I get it completely. I really, really do, in a stand, and I'm with you, I'm with you. However, this is trauma, okay? So please just be extremely aware of this. It's trauma when you really want to I want to give my opinion and I want to be heard and I want to be right. That's the other one. I want to be right. I always need to get the last word. No, you do not. For your own safety, your own peace of mind, for the collective consciousness, let it go. You do not need to be a pushover, put boundaries in place, but you do not, by any stretch of the imagination, need to be going to that person, projecting your stuff over it, okay? Blaming and shaming. This is recognized protection to trauma. Blaming, shaming, jealousy, envy, putting people down, saying that they have to share your opinions. Think about it right now. What the government are doing here in the UK are basically saying nobody can think differently. We all have to do as we're told. We all have to do the same thing. There is no choice. This is just the way it's going to be. And we're all going, no, that's not actually what we signed up for. That isn't actually what being a human being is. Actually, one of the beautiful things of being a human being is we get to speak. Like a lot of other species, they don't have the power of speech. A lot of other, being a human being, we get to think, we get to create and manifest, and we get to choose. We have freedom of choice. However, the powers that be are attempting to remove that from us. And this is why we need to just make sure that we are in our truth, because then nobody can take it away from you. If you are in your truth, living it day to day, and you're recognizing your traumas, you're recognizing where you've got to heal, you are recognizing all of the BS that's being dredged up through this scenario, you will recognize it's your trauma, it's your little coat of armor, messaging someone, oh, well, I don't agree with you. Who? Do you really need to? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So let it go. It's not your stuff. It's never about the other person. It's always about you. If you are having a reaction, and this is the thing, guys, the reason I'm sharing this with you on behalf of increasing humanity. I don't feel it's going to happen again. It will be to awaken. So we're just talking about the V passport in the comments. I do not see that happening. I truly believe that that is just another thing to awaken. How far can we push them? How far can we push them? Remember, humanity needs to awaken right now. Literally, humanity needs to awaken. We are going to get pushed so far until people go, oh gosh, yeah, this is a bit silly now. But it's until that point that we have more of humanity ascending, which is why I'm doing this with you guys today, because you guys are an amazing community that can go take this, implement it into your day-to-day life, implement it into your stories and your social media. And then what can happen off the back of that is other people around you will start seeing. And they won't look at you as the crazy one. They won't think of you as the nag or whatever, okay? You'll be empowering them. Remember, it is always about you. You have a reaction, it's about you. You want to speak, like tell somebody off, it's about you. You know, all of it. We're just conditioned from birth to just don't speak back to your parents and do. So let's just say, hey, that's old fashioned now. We're just not there. We're ascending. We're going up into a higher frequency. Yes, I feel, well, what they actually said to me was they gave me the number 36 and 42, which basically means probably only about 36% of the population are awakening in the UK, which is interesting because the global is higher. So yes, please do manifest that, Lindsay. Please do manifest that. So what we need to be doing when this stuff is coming up for us, when we would like to project our views forward, ask yourself, what is the trauma that is coming up for me? Like, where has this come from? Yes, absolutely. But it's about standing in your truth. Is standing in your truth no matter what. There has been so many people all around the world that have gone, oh, well, you know, Mr. B is in power now, so clearly, like, it's game over. Whereas I'm like, no, clearly humanity wasn't awake. Because for me, it's not about B or T. It's not about Bojo or whoever the other person is. Like, it's not about any of that stuff. This is souls have come to this planet and gone, I'm going to wake you up. I'm going to wake you up. I'm going to wake you up. But so many people right now, particularly in England, are putting their head in the sand because it's not my problem. It's not my responsibility to speak up. Ego, stiff upper lip. You know, us Brits, we just toughen up. We just put up and shut up. That's what we do here. So now it's about encouraging people, you know, asking people, you know, if somebody says to you, oh yeah, I'm going to have that, I'd just be like, have you taken a look at the ingredients, babe? You know, explain to me what it is. Like, what's your driver? What's the driver for taking that? I'd love to know, babe. Like, share your perspective with me. What's the driver for doing it? Because you may learn something. You may learn something by saying to somebody, what is your perspective? What is your perspective of the desire for that in your life? What is your perspective on it? We have so much work to do for us to be able to ascend, for us to be living in our fifth dimension truth. We have a lot of work to do. There is going to be a lot more trauma on the planet. So please just, like, we must get rid of the outcome, like the expectation of the outcome other than love. All we are here to do is love each other. And the way that we heal, the way that we step into our, you know, like, we must recognize where the hurt has come from. So for example, if you are like, you know, you speak really, really loud all of the time because, like, you just weren't heard as a child. Your parents just told you to shush up and, like, you should be seen and not heard. So now as an adult, you're really loud and really in people's faces and you want to be heard and you're out there and there's a lot of anger. You need to recognize that that's where it's come from. You need to recognize where it comes from. And then it's about loving yourself. so that you can empower other people to love themselves and forgive themselves for all of the for all of the trauma that they've been carrying. Why do you think I've got a brand called Self-Love Club? Because I identified a few years ago on my own healing journey, the only way through any of this stuff, the only way to awaken, the only way to ascend, the only way to become an ascended master, like connecting with your ascended masters, the only way to figure out your truth and your path and your purpose and your passion is self-love. That's it. Everything boils down to self-love. The more you love anything, the better it is. Think about it. You love your child more and more and more. What happens? Your child stands up. It's more confident. It's more loving. It's more caring. It's more sharing. It's more giving. You abuse your child. You hurt your child. You push your child away. Go look in the mirror and see what that looks like and feels like. Because we all know it, right? All of us had parents that were too busy, or parents that didn't listen, or grandparents that never want, like we've all got our own story. But this now is the time where we go, hey, hang on a minute, our generation, it's time to heal so that our little beings that are coming through, they don't need to go through all of this rubbish. That's why, so many people said to me, you are crazy calling your brand Self-Love Club. Literally crazy. You are so crazy. It's so girly. It's so pink. It's so unicorns and butterflies and stuff. And I was like, listen, this is what I channeled. This is what they told me. It has to be called Self-Love Club. It has to be. And I was like, but this is weird. Like, for me, the word love repelled me at the time. Well, it didn't. I was kind of getting over that for a couple of years, but, it still wasn't comfortable. Remember, triggers are opportunities in disguise. They really are. They are. I promise you, they are opportunities. I love it. If I get triggered, I'm like, yes, we're going to a new level. Because that's all I'm about. I'm about ascending. How can I be a better version? And people say, I don't like, be your best version. Do you know what? I am like so incredibly improved from where I was 5 years ago. It's beautiful. Doesn't mean that I've got there yet. Doesn't mean that I'm like this, like I'm perfect, because I'm far from perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us will ever be perfect. Stand into your truth. Step into your truth. And what they told me, and where I'm going to end this for the UK, is because I know I've kind of made it personal about you, because we are the only way that this is going to happen. Okay, we are the only way that the collective consciousness is going to increase. Until we increase the collective healing, we will continue on this path of destruction. So recognize yourself. MDK has put, how can you speak up without it being projection? Can you just clarify that point? First and foremost, recognize what it is that you want to speak up about. Is it coming from your healing? Is it coming from your trauma? Because if it's coming from your trauma, it's about the delivery of how you do that then. So for me personally, like I say, I really would love for no one on the planet to have the V thing. I really would. However, I'm pro-choice. So if somebody really wants it, I'll literally just ask the question of, oh, what's your perspective? Like, what's your driver to take it? And then a conversation may spark. It's not about me going, oh, what the fuck do you want to do that for? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Come from a space of, is this because I need to be heard? Is this because I've been triggered? Is this because I've got some healing to do? Is this because I'm a control freak? Is this because I want the world to hear my message? Like, we need to identify that first. Oh, yeah, well, actually. Oh, yeah, well, actually. Oh, yeah, well, actually. Once you've gone through that, you are allowed to speak your truth on anything. You can speak your truth on absolutely anything. My recommendation is, when we are going to other people, just be extremely, extremely aware of where it is coming from. Okay? Guys, I love you to the moon and stars. I'm going to be doing another video with Maxine and Donna this week. So we will be doing that every Thursday from here. as soon as my Zoom account is sorted, it will be alive like this, so it'll be fun because they're such a giggle doing those sessions with those girls. They're such a giggle. So thank you all for coming along today. Smash the thumbs up for me if you've enjoyed this. Do let me know if there's any topics that you want me to cover in Sunday service going forwards. I love you guys to the moon and stars. Thank you to New Zealand for all of your help for today. Thank you, Mark, for the feedback as well. Really, really appreciate it. Ladies and gents, I love you to the moon and stars. Remember, love is the only answer. It doesn't matter the question. Love is the answer. Love you guys. Take care. Have the most beautiful day, everybody.